Thank you. In 1995, August 15th, our nation was recovered, and today it is the 80th year commemorating this event. And as we think about this, our New Jerusalem choir had lifted up a praise that glorified God. Today, I want to talk about this sermon entitled The Foolish People Who Followed Absalom. Absalom, what kind of a person was he? Absalom had a younger sister, Tamar, and his older brother, Amnon, had violated and raped Tamar. And within his heart, he always had this anger and hatred. And the day that the sheep were sheared, he devised a plan to brutally kill Amnon. And his father is David. And yet he overthrew his father's rule and still stole the country. And his father was running away weeping, and he ran away so hastily that he could not even put on his shoes. This is the kind of person Absalom was. 2 Samuel chapter 16 verse 22. After David had left the castle, Absalom pitched a tent on the roof, and he went in and he slept with his father's concubines. This is the kind of person Absalom was. And with our humanly minds, we might think, who would follow such a person? Who would support such a person? You might think this, but actually, all the people followed him. Many people supported Absalom. And so these people that followed him were very foolish. And today, through the word of the Bible, I want to talk about what kind of people had followed Absalom. Firstly, those who looked only at Absalom's outer appearance followed him. The appearance of Absalom, in all of Israel, he was the most beautiful. In today's main verse, 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 25, it says, "In all Israel was no one as handsome as Absalom, so highly praised." Here, the word handsome in Hebrew is yapeh. And yapeh refers to people that are so beautiful outwardly. But this word is actually used for women. Genesis chapter 12 verse 14, it talks about when Abraham took Sarah and they went into Egypt. And at the time, the Egyptians saw Sarah and they said that she was very beautiful and they were taken away by her beauty. And the word used here is that Hebrew word, yapeh. And today in the world, if the man is so handsome, we think, wow, he's like a flower boy. We say that, right? So at that point, this is what Absalom looked like. He was a flower boy. 2 Samuel chapter 14 verse 25, in all of Israel was no one like Absalom. And when you look at this phrase, it's truly putting him up as the number one. He is the most beautiful and handsome of all the men of Israel. Also, Absalom had no physical defects from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. His face was beautiful and handsome. And there are those who have such faces, but their bodies, whatever, right? Their face is cute, beautiful, handsome, but they're kind of fat or big, so it doesn't fit with their beautiful face. But Absalom, his body was good. From the sole of his foot to the crown of his head, there was no defect in him. 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 25. And from the foot, sole of his foot to the crown of his head. This is a phrase to reference the entire body. So Absalom's face was handsome, but his body was also perfect. To these days, those that have good bodies, we say that they're very, it's like they're cut, it's like they're shaped. And to that point, Absalom was described. And so many people, they praised Absalom's appearance very highly. 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 25, it says, so highly praised. And to praise in Hebrew is halal, and it means to admire or to be boastful. So Absalom, at the time of Israel, he was boastful. Ah, in this nation, the people were saying, look at that kind of king, this kind of perfect face, perfect body. Truly, he is the pride of our nation. So in this way, people were raising up and exalting Absalom. And because of his appearance, many people supported him and followed him. But for us, God does not look at the outer appearance. He looks at the heart. That's what we need to understand. In order to make David king, the oil was to be anointed. And so God gives this command to Prophet Samuel and sends him to the house of Jesse. 7 sons were in the house, and yet David was out in the fields pasturing the sheep. And now, in order to anoint the oil, the eldest son Eliab comes forth. And how tall was he? How handsome was he? And even Prophet Samuel, he thought, wow, this Eliab must be the one. He must be the one that I need to anoint with oil. And he was about to do so. And at the time, God said, he told Prophet Samuel, hey Samuel, do not look at his appearance. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7, I have rejected him. This is Eliab. God sees not as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And so he told Prophet Samuel to go get David pasturing in the sheep. And he said, anoint him. This is the one that will be the king of Israel. Beloved saints, today we too, we must not follow the outward appearances. We must follow the heart. Senior pastor, he told us countless times, from now on, the church and the retreat centers, those who wants to sell it, break their head open. That was a direct phrase coming from the mouth of our senior pastor. In July 23rd, the Cheongpyeong Retreat Center has released the Cheongpyeong Retreat Center out into the market. The real estate of the church, it's the churches. And the command of our senior pastor had told us not to sell the retreat centers. How can the committee, how can the elders committee pass this? How can these people claim to be the ones that they do God's will? And yet many people, they are so used to the lies and the deceit, and they look at the outside and they follow them. The heart has nothing to do with the will of God. Beloved saints, for the remainder of our lives, we must not look at the appearances of man. We must follow the heart of God, until the very end, we must protect the church, protect the word, and may you be those who recover the church. And this I bless you in the name of the Lord. Second point, what kind of people followed Absalom? Secondly, those whose hearts were stolen by Absalom and followed him. The hearts were stolen by Absalom. To steal someone's heart, do you know what a two consonant word for this is? It's a heartthrob. Heartthrob. And so they've stolen the heart, or the heart's been stolen. If a good person had stolen the heart, then it's okay. And yet, the evil, clearly an evil person, clearly a person that doesn't do anything for God's will, nothing to do with his will. If this person is the heartthrob, then they are a thief, a robber of the hearts of other people. Absalom, there are people that came to see the king. So Absalom would come out early in the morning to see them on the way. This is in 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 6. In this manner, Absalom dealt with all Israel who came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole away the hearts of the men of Israel. So this 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 2, it says Absalom used to rise early. So, I'm from the tribe of Manasseh. I'm from the tribe of this. And this person, why are you here so early? Oh, I'm here to give this case to the king. I'm so wrongfully accused. That's why I'm here. And at the time, Absalom, he'd say, everything that you say is right. You're the righteous. You're the one who knows what's good. So Absalom would butter them up with his words. He'd acknowledge them. Wow, how can a prince, a beautiful and handsome man from head to foot, how can he listen to all my words? How can he say that all my words are right? How can this person support me and care for me? And so that heartthrob, it's been stolen by Absalom. And yet Absalom, and so he says, no one's in the castle will listen to you. In 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 3, then Absalom would say to him, see, your claims are good and right, but no man listens to you on the part of the king. So it's very clear how Absalom responded. And yet, don't worry. From now on, I will judge the land. And when I do, all of your shameful wrongdoing cases will be handled well. And don't you think I need to be king from now on? So with this kind of nuance, Absalom would speak to all the people. 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 4. Moreover, Absalom would say, oh, that one would appoint me judge in the land. Then every man who has any suit or cause could come to me, and I would give him justice. All the people that came for the trials, they're so thankful. So they would bow to Absalom. They would put their face all the way to the ground. And yet Absalom would hurry up and grab their hand. Oh, don't do this. Don't do this. And so he'd kiss their face. 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 5. And when a man came near to prostrate himself before him, he would put out his hand and take hold of him and kiss him. At the time, to take hold and kiss somebody means it's you are mine. You and I are one family. This is the kind of symbolic gesture this was. And so this person, this beautiful, tall, handsome king, Listen to all my words. He says, I'm right. Oh, if I'm judged in the future, I'll handle everything for you. And even though it hasn't been resolved yet, just listening to those words, imagine the heart that is being shaken by the person. And so this person goes back home and he tells his family and his relatives, oh, wow, our nation has hope. Absalom, that prince, he's the best. Imagine how exalting he must have been. In our land, having a prince like that is a blessing. And so these rumors, these good rumors of Absalom would spread all over. But Absalom, he was not a humble person. 2 Samuel chapter 15 verse 12. And the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. This is in direct opposition to King David, his father. These visad, this mask, these outward deeds, all the people fell for Absalom's tricks. Absalom, who had stolen, or God had warned the people to beware of false prophets to steal their hearts. Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. Beloved saints, outwardly, they say that they're keeping the church, they're keeping the family, but in actuality, they are stealing the hearts of the saints. To these false prophets who come in sheep's clothing and ravenous wolves, we must not have our hearts stolen by them. We must only have our hearts stolen by God. Only by God's word must our hearts be dedicated. Our hearts must all wholly be devoted to God. And when we do, God will work through us. In Acts chapter 13, verse 22, it says that David is a man after my own heart who will do all my will. Beloved saints, today our hearts may it not be stolen by false prophets. May our hearts be one with God. May our hearts be those that bring about God's will for the remainder of our lives. And this I bless you in the name of the Lord. Big point number 3. Those who were specially invited by Absalom followed him. So now Absalom, in order to rebel, he's invited 200 men with him to go to Hebron. 2 Samuel chapter 15 verse 11. Then 200 men went with Absalom from Jerusalem who were invited and went innocently. So they were invited, 200 of them. These people didn't know anything. They just went because Absalom invited them to Hebron. So the invite itself was something to be so thankful for. 2 Samuel chapter 15 verse 11 in the Good News Bible, it says there were 200 men who at Absalom's invitation had gone from Jerusalem with him. They knew nothing of the plot and went in all good faith. They did not know anything. They didn't know that Absalom was plotting a rebellion, and just because they liked him, they followed him. 200 people. If these people disliked Absalom as a human, would they have followed him? No. They followed him because they liked him. Oh, Absalom? He says, going to Hebron. I got an invitation. Did you get an invitation? Oh man, I'm blessed. And in that moment, inwardly, they're so happy and excited. And in the world's expression, you didn't get an expression? invitation? I got an invitation. Oh, you and I, we're different. And so they'd boast and be happy. 200 men were like this. And yet, Absalom, when he went to Hebron and announced that we are king, that I will be king, none of the 200 men were opposed to this. They had no intention to rebel against David, but because they liked Absalom so much, they became the ones who took part in the rebellion. At this time, there was a person that Absalom especially invited, and this person's name was Ahithophel. This is in 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 12. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel the Gilonite, David's counselor from his city Gilo, while he was offering the sacrifices. They sent a special person and said, Ahithophel, this time Absalom, he's going to go to Hebron. He's got an important task to do, and he wants you to come with him. Why? Why did Ahithophel join the rebellion of Absalom? He's a he was a counselor of David. He was someone who advised him in all aspects of life, politics, and the kingdom. Why would Ahithophel join the rebellion of Absalom? The amazing thing, this Ahithophel, he is the so Uriah is the husband of Bathsheba, and Bathsheba is the niece of Ahithophel. I'm sorry, the granddaughter of Ahithophel. And so David took Bathsheba. Oh, David took my grandson or granddaughter. David took my granddaughter's husband and killed him. And so even though he did work with David and counseled him, but he had a hatred for him, anger for him deep within his hearts. 2 Samuel chapter 23 verse 34. It is Eliam the son of Ahithophel the Gileonite. And this Eliam, it's Bathsheba's dad, Bathsheba's father. And so Bathsheba's grandfather is Ahithophel. 2 Samuel chapter 11 verse 3. Is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? So it says Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam. And so like this, those who received the invitation from Absalom, they all were someone that was related some one way or another with him. Beloved saints, the life of faith, no matter how friendly I might be with that person, God's will must go before that. Jesus says in Matthew chapter 10 verse 37, "He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." We, rather than human relations, my relationship with God must at all times be first. That is a God first faith. Beloved saints, until the day we enter heaven, may we not be tempted by the fleshly human thoughts, but may we hold on to the will of God. And this I bless you in the name of the Lord. In conclusion, Absalom, why did he die? He thought of himself so highly, and because of this pride, he died. Absalom was not only handsome, but his head was full of hair. If you look at men, he had like a lion's mane. There are those who have like a lion's mane. And when men cut their hair, and when you weigh the hair that was cut, it's roughly on average about 500 grams. But one time Absalom would cut his hair, when you weighed it, it's 4.56 kilograms. That's about 9 to 10 times more than the average male. A baby that's just born, it's about 3.3 kilograms. But after a month, they become 4.5 kilograms to 5, roughly. But Absalom's hair, just cutting it once, the weight of that hair is a 1 month year old baby. So imagine how full and abundant his hair was. 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 26, when he cut the hair of his head, and it was at the end of every year that he cut it, at every year. So one haircut a year. But it was heavy on him, so he cut it. He weighed the hair at 200 shekels by the king's weight. 200 or 1 shekel is 22.8 grams. So because it's 200, this is equating to 4.56 kilograms. This is an immense amount of weight. But unfortunately and ironically, it was because of his hair that he died. So they're fighting. Absalom has a rebellion against David, and they're fighting, and he fled quickly. And there was a large tree, and as he passed by the tree, because his hair was so full, it got caught in the branch. The hair just kept going, or the horse just kept going. And so by his hair, he was dangling. And in that dangling state, he was stabbed. 2 Samuel chapter 18, verse 9. Now Absalom happened to meet the servants of David. For Absalom was riding on his mule, and the mule went under the thick branches of a great oak, and his head caught fast in the oak. So he was left hanging between heaven and earth, while the mule that was under him kept going. So in this way, Absalom, the most prized possession, his hair, because of this, he died. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 29, so that no man may boast before God. Today, you and I, what is it that we boast of? Oh, he's so good at speaking. He's so ahead of his class. Oh, his body is so healthy. Some people say, oh, they're so good at singing. Oh, he has something that no one else has. But that itself is a gift of God. This is how we need to take it. And every day, with humility, we must bow before God and pray that we are able to use that gift well. But God, we forget that He's the one that gave us the gift. And because I become proud, I think that it's my gift that I got. And so we become proud and arrogant. And because of that thing, my life becomes ruined. Beloved saints, until the day we enter into heaven, may we not boast of our humanly things. We only rely on God. May we cling to Him. May we bow to Him and pray. And when we do, God will help us. And our roads, our life will be all set straight. Our problems will be resolved. And all of your lives will be filled with miracles. And all of this, I bless you in the name of the Lord. At this time,